You aren't afraid of death. You're just afraid that you haven't actually lived, all while time slips through your fingers day by day. How many times have you looked at the clock and been startled, asking yourself, where did the whole afternoon go? We spend our time as if we have an endless treasure, but the truth is, every passing second is a piece of your life that now lies forever in the grave of the past. 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, Seneca, wrote letters that could wake even the most deeply sleeping souls. He didn't teach us how to grow wealthy in money. He taught us how to stop being poor in existence. In this video, I won't just read you 20 of Seneca's quotes. We're going to break down 20 golden rules together to stop draining your energy on things that don't matter. Stick around until the end, because after each insight, I'll give you practical exercises, concrete tools to help you take back control of your life starting today. Don't wait until your eyes are closing for the last time to regret that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Hello friends, let's start with the most important part, redefining wealth. We often worry about a dropping bank balance, yet stay indifferent while our life balance drains away every minute. Seneca kicks off his lesson with a raw truth. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Pause for a second on that. You see, Seneca doesn't blame nature or fate. He points out bluntly that the problem lies in how we spend it. If you view life as capital, most of us are the world's worst investors. We pour time into pointless online arguments or worry about what others think of us. We act as if we have thousands of years in reserve, but the reality is that every second you just spent listening to this sentence is gone forever. To understand why we are so foolishly generous with our time, Seneca observed how people treat physical property. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Imagine this: if someone burst into your house and grabbed your laptop or wallet, you'd fight back, you'd call the police. But when a rude colleague drags you into mindless gossip for an hour, or a Facebook notification sucks you into a 2-hour scrolling spiral, you just smile and accept it. Why? Because time is invisible. We don't see it leaving like we see a bill leaving our pocket. But Seneca reminds us, stinginess with time is the noblest form of stinginess. He continues to highlight this contradiction in human psychology. We are tight-fisted with our money, but when it comes to time, we let people take as much as they want. Your energy is finite. Every time you say yes to an invitation when you really want to say no, you're gifting a piece of your life to someone else. Seneca isn't telling us to be selfish. He wants us to be responsible asset managers. Because believe me, it is the sign of a great man not to allow any of his time to be filched from him. Greatness here isn't about fame. It's about self-mastery. A self-mastered person knows how to guard their boundaries. They know that time is the only raw material for creating meaning. If you let others steal your focus, you're letting them steal your destiny. Finally, in this section, Seneca leaves us with a haunting realization about existence. The part of life we really live is small, for all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. Do you ever feel like you've been around for 30 years, but if you subtract the time spent sleeping, worrying, or waiting in a daze, you've only actually lived for a few months? That's Seneca's message. Don't confuse existence with life. Living is when you are present, aware, and acting with purpose. Practical exercises for Part 1: Managing the Value of Time. 1. The Time Police. For the next 3 days, log every time someone or something, your phone, a pointless meeting, interrupts you for more than 15 minutes. Ask yourself, if this were cash from my wallet, would I be willing to hand it over? If the answer is no, learn to set boundaries, turn off notifications, say no politely. 2. The Hour of Life. Choose 1 hour every day as your actual living hour. No phone, no work goals, just absolute presence for yourself or your loved ones. This is how you reclaim life from the flow of time. We've talked about the value of time, but there's a silent thief more dangerous than any outside intruder. Your own mind, the part that always finds a way to push the important things to a tomorrow that never comes. Seneca had some of his harshest words for this habit. Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. Look at how we live. We say, when I have enough money, I'll travel. When the kids are grown, I'll take care of myself. When work settles down, I'll learn what I love. Seneca calls this a bad trade. You're trading the real today for the unreal, the future. Procrastination isn't just being late with work. It's a betrayal of life itself. Why do we do this? Because we're stuck in the trap of expectancy. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Expectancy here means putting your happiness and purpose on a distant shelf. You're hanging your life on the thread of tomorrow, and the price is an empty today. Remember, tomorrow is something no one is guaranteed to own. Seneca urges us to change our mindset immediately. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Imagine this: if every morning you woke up was a new life, and every night you went to sleep was a little death. How would you live that day? Would you still spend 4 hours watching mindless videos? Would you still let a stranger's hateful words ruin an entire lifetime? When you treat each day as a complete unit of living, the pressure of the future vanishes, leaving only absolute focus on making this 24-hour life as meaningful as possible. That focus is the key to happiness. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Stoicism doesn't tell you to stop planning, but it tells you to stop being emotionally dependent on future outcomes. If you're only happy when you reach the goal, most of your journey will be miserable. But if you find joy in the action of this very moment, you become invincible. Conversely, if you keep drifting between 3 timelines without being present in any, Seneca warns, life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Do you see yourself in that a bit of regret over old mistakes, a bit of indifference toward the meal you're eating, a bit of fear over an upcoming deadline? The result, your life shrinks into a tiny dot of anxiety. Practical exercises for Part 2. Defeating procrastination. The last day. Every morning when you wake up, tell yourself, "This could be my last life." Then pick the most important thing you've been putting off for months and spend at least 30 minutes doing it right away. Don't wait for perfection. Just start to end the delay. 2. The anchor statement. When you feel anxious about a future event, like a presentation, say out loud, "I don't know what the future holds, but I have full control over my effort right now." Then go back to the task at hand. This pulls your mind from tomorrow back to today. We understand time is gold and procrastination is the enemy. But here's a reality check. Why do we still feel exhausted even when we haven't accomplished anything worthwhile? The answer is distraction. Seneca identified this thousands of years ago with a painfully short sentence: "He who is everywhere is nowhere." In an age where we brag about multitasking, Seneca reminds us that it's an illusion. When you're working while scrolling social media and worrying about dinner, you're breaking your soul into fragments. When your energy is pulled in every direction, you'll never have the strength to break through any barrier. Being everywhere is the fastest way to become a ghost who leaves no mark on the world. This distraction often comes from hoarding things we don't need, possessions, shallow social ties, and worries that aren't ours to carry. Seneca wrote, "Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are." And look at your desk drawer, or just the app list on your phone. How many of those actually serve your purpose? We often fear lack, but the truth is, excess is what's suffocating us. To get your energy back, you have to dare to cut things out. Seneca continues to challenge us on the price of that chaos. How much of your life was taken away by sorrow? How much by empty joy? How much by greedy desire? How much by the seductions of society? Empty joy is that the temporary high from a like, or the fake excitement of buying something new. These are black holes swallowing your energy. If you don't know where you're going, you'll always be led by these temptations. Because if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. This is one of the most famous Stoic sayings. Without a core goal, a port for your life, every opportunity becomes meaningless or even harmful. You'll be like a ship spinning in circles in the ocean, wasting fuel on directionless efforts. Finally, Seneca reminds us that true poverty isn't about assets, but about a greedy mindset. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. When you're always hungering for more, you're putting yourself in a state of slavery. Your energy is drained to serve endless desires. Freedom only comes when you know what is enough. Practical exercises for Part 3, Refining Your Life. The 80-20 pruning. List the 10 activities or relationships that consumed most of your time last week. Boldly cross off the 3 that you see as empty joy or that contribute nothing to your target port. Say a firm no when these reappear. 2. The empty bag. Pick one day a week for a digital fast or a spending fast. You won't buy anything except food and won't use social media. This is to prove to yourself, I am fine without them, just as Seneca taught about unnecessary things. Hello, friends. We've walked through the rules of managing time and energy. But there's a truth most of us dodge, a truth Seneca believed makes all other time management techniques meaningless if ignored. That truth is death. Don't be afraid. For Seneca, awareness of our finitude isn't meant to make us sad, but to wake us up. He reminds us of a ridiculous paradox in the human psyche. We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though there would be no end of them. Do you see yourself in that? We complain that a week goes by too fast, yet we're perfectly willing to kill time with mindless tasks. We act as if we have an infinite bank account, when in reality every breath is a deduction from the balance. Seneca wants us to stop complaining and start acting, because life is long if you know how to use it. A person who lives to 90 but spends 60 years in a daze hasn't actually lived as long as someone who only has 30 years but lives every minute with passion and awareness. Time isn't measured by years, it's measured by the depth of your experiences. Our days often comes from a flawed attitude toward living. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. This line from Seneca is like a slap to our cowardice. When facing risks, we tremble as if a single mistake would end our lives. But when chasing shallow pleasures, we postpone meaningful living as if we'll live forever to get around to it later. Seneca wants us to flip that be braver in the face of fear and more urgent in pursuing your true desires. In the end, his entire philosophy can be packed into this: whole life is a preparation for death, and it is for this reason that we must not waste a single moment. If you knew that this afternoon might be the last time you'd see the sunset, would you still be grumpy with your loved ones? Would you still care about a negative comment online? When death becomes your advisor, your life becomes strangely pure. All anxiety about the future evaporates. A person's fears are lighter when they are focused on the present, but they grow heavy when they look too far ahead. Practical exercises for Part 4. Living with a memento mori mindset. The cosmic perspective. Each night before sleep, imagine you are looking down at Earth from a star, seeing your tiny, brief life. Ask yourself, if I don't wake up tomorrow, what did I do today that actually mattered? This helps you strip away the trivial and keep the core. 2. The last month note. Once a month, write a letter to yourself listing the things you would cherish most if this were your final month alive. Then make time in the coming month to actually enjoy those things. Don't wait until your deathbed to say goodbye to life. Greet life every day with the gratitude of someone who has just been granted a bonus. Thank you for walking with me through Seneca's 20 Golden Rules. Stoicism isn't just old pages in a book. It's an operating system for modern life. You don't need to be perfect right away. Just start today by being more stingy with your time, braver in saying no to the meaningless, and more deeply present in every minute you breathe. Remember, life isn't short. It's just that we waste so much of it. Don't just let time pass. Let time be lived. If this video helped you, share it with someone whose time you truly care about. Don't forget to subscribe so we can train our minds together every day. See you at the port of awareness. Farewell.